Hello YouTube, it's Tom back again. I'd like to apologise for the delay first of all. There's been a lot of time since my last video, but the reason for that is really that I felt that the videos that I posted before really summed up my ideas about technique, and I felt that anything else that I would have really said would have sort of confused that a little bit or made it slightly less clear about exactly what my ideas were, and it would be more about publicising myself rather than just getting the word out there about my ideas of bowling technique. So that's the reason why I haven't posted anything for a while, but recently there's been a lot of comments and I just wanted to answer a few questions and perhaps explain a few more of my beliefs. Before I get onto that, I'd just like to say thank you very much to everyone who's been commenting. It's nice that we have a few people trolling. I do find it amusing if people want to have a go or, you know, share their opinions or maybe take out a little bit of real life angst in their YouTube personality, and that's fine by me because I enjoy it myself. So if you do have any sort of relevant points or just cricket points, then I'll be more than happy to answer them myself. I do look at everything I see, but I can't guarantee that it will be, you know, an immediate response because at the moment there's a few things going on in my career and business side of things. Anyway, onto the cricket side of things. What I'd like to talk about tonight is my beliefs on training methodology. Now, if you're a guy who's wanting to take their cricket seriously, I think that the science of training in cricket is again a little bit misunderstood. I mean, a lot of guys just say you just got to bowl and you're bowling all the time. That's just all you do. You know, you're bowling at full pace and just building up your stamina. I think that there's a more scientific and more reasonable approach to this, which we can borrow from weightlifting. Something I get a lot of comments about is that people can't get the front leg right, or they have technique faults and they just can't correct them. And the main thing that I think you need to do in bowling, again, is volume, like these other guys say, but not at full intensity. Now, if you look at something like weightlifting, you know, Olympic lifting, like we've seen in the Olympics in the last few weeks, the way that the Russians and the Chinese, I'm sure Kazakhstanis, the really successful guys train, is they're getting a lot of volume in the lifts. It's really the Bulgarians who don't do this. They're the only weightlifters who stick to just maxing out all the time. The way that the rest of the world really trains is getting in a lot of volume at lighter weights, and it's to build confidence and it's to build technique. Now, weightlifting is the fastest weighted sport, if you like. It's the, you know, faster than powerlifting or bodybuilding, any of that sort of stuff, strongman events. And so it's not necessarily strength that's the main factor, and it's the same thing with cricket. Strength is definitely not a main factor with bowling, it is technique. And you can only master technique through perfect practice. Now, you might have a few idiosyncrasies about your action, but unless you practice it, then you're never going to improve, or you're never going to drill that action into your muscle memory and the way that you go about these patterns in the most efficient way. Practice and practice and practice will ultimately get you better, and everyone knows this. But the mistake I think people make is that they're going at high intensity all of the time. So there's no mediation of the intensity with which they're bowling, and I think this is the reason why a lot of people get injured. It's this: you don't see many other sports training at 100% all of the time, and it's not to do with their bodies can't take it, because clearly you see a lot of bowlers who practice full on all of the time and they get used to it. It's just it's very hard on certain parts of the body, and when you're constantly pushing yourself, that's when you get injuries. You can improve in your action and your technique by working at that 70% and just getting in more volume all the time. People are obsessed with bowling faster with every single ball, and it's not like that. You can get faster without constantly pushing yourself. This is when you get problems, especially around the shoulder girdle and things like that. So if I was bowling at the moment, unfortunately I can't because of various circumstances, not injuries, but just general life. You know, it's a time-consuming sport. But if I was, I'd be training a lot. Every single day I would be bowling, but I wouldn't be bowling hard every single day. I'd be doing some sort of, not quite periodization, but some sort of scaling of my bowling, just to make sure that I was drilling that technique at lower intensity, making sure every single aspect was perfect by videoing my action, etc., etc. And then when it came round to the real games, then I can let myself loose. I hope this has been useful. If anyone has any questions about my ideas about how to fit in a strength training program into this or anything like that, please don't be afraid to ask. I think I've covered most of these things in my other videos. This will probably be one of my last videos for a while, but please make sure you digest the information and pass it on. If I get more demand and more questions popping up, then I'll answer videos about them. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.